we're live.
Yo, man, it's your boy Knowledge 405, and we are here with Southern Vibe Radio. You know, I got my boy Big Boy. He's manning the engineer board today, man. How you living, homie?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
So, everybody, you know, that tunes in and watches the show, it was some real interesting things going on last week, and we promised you guys that, you know, we were going to do some research, and we were going to find out what was going on as much as we could.
ATM.
As we know, these things are all based on opinion, is what I say, but I want to base my opinion on fact. So I brought a guest with me that can, you know, help kind of level everything out by the name of GM Allen. Go ahead and introduce yourself to my happy peoples.
How's it going, sir? Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure, because we got some stuff to talk about. Now, you know, my boy, he's an artist, and, you know, we'll get into some music, but the funny thing about it is I didn't even bring him here for that, and I appreciate the fact that he was down for it regardless, because I just wanted to get a different perspective on what's going on in the world from somebody who, although we're very alike, we're also very different. And my first thing I want to ask is, okay, we knew everything that happened last week and the week before that led up to these events. However, there was still an inauguration.
Yes, there was.
We do have a new president. We do have a new vice president. What do you think he's going to have to do to get to working on all this? Because it's a lot.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't think it has anything to do with what he needs to do as much as it has to do with what we need to do going forward. Because at the end of the day, we've got things back to what I like to consider like just the status quo. This guy's been around forever. And even though he's coming with the right messages and he's doing the right things starting out, this is still going to be something where we're going to have to hold Biden's feet to the fire for the next 4 years to make the real changes that, like, let's be honest with ourselves, were ignored up until now for at least the last couple of decades. And
Correct.
Because we've always just been comfortable with the status quo. Like, we've done enough. We made enough change in this country. There's nothing else we can do. And that's not acceptable anymore. The last 4 years have shown us that not only is it not acceptable anymore, but there's so many holes in the system that anybody can exploit it at any time.
Right.
And we just weren't aware of to what extent that could happen.
Yes. And I'm happy you said that because, to be honest with you, when I started, like, really watching it, you know, I'd be stuck on CNN. I'm sorry, I can't help it. And when I was watching it, it kind of scared me when I thought of the reality. At first, there was a certain anger at the fact that it seemed like nobody was ready for that. But it made me think about a real sad reality. Okay, what if, this is gonna sound real messed up, but I really want people to think
ahead.
when I say what I'm finna say. What if I was an actual terrorist, right? Mm-hmm. But I looked like I was, you know, for the president. And I could just walk into the building and blow that bitch up.
That's exactly what happened, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
There's no difference. It's the exact
It's
same thing.
Scary, man. Like, we have a Secret Service, the CIA, and the FBI that surround themselves around the White House on a consistent basis. Especially, matter of fact, most of the time when they already built up, you know what I'm saying, they got their wall of people, guns, ready for whatever. It's so premeditated.
Yes.
So they always know what's going on. So you mean to tell me that many thousands and thousands of people, they didn't know? They knew exactly what
But
it
you
was.
know that's not the case. I mean, look how prepared they were for the peaceful protests that were
Thank
going
you.
on during the summer, and how they had people lined up in the street and they had their tear gas ready to go, and they knew exactly how to handle it. And
Yes.
yet, when you're talking about a week before inauguration, oh, we don't know how to handle this, or we don't have enough people for this, we don't have enough resources for this, that's bullshit.
Right. I mean, shout out to the 3 police officers that could have lost their lives trying to protect our White House, to let you know that the good ones do exist. But what I feel bad about them for is the other police officers that were letting these people through.
Yes.
Because those police officers that were trying to uphold the law could have died. You know, because...
And a couple did.
Yes.
And at the
exactly.
same time, it just wasn't police officers letting them in.
Yes. Matter of fact, what was the name of that lady? There was a lady that was actually directing them on exactly where to go. What was her
They
name?
were talking about, a couple of congressmen were talking about how like the places that the protesters were getting into, like there's no way they should have been able to find their way to those offices.
Yeah,
and
there was a
yet-
lady telling them that used to work for the White House. She had like a loudspeaker. I can't remember her name. Where did it go? But
And she was directing them like, if you go straight down
Yeah.
and through the way and you just blow the window, yeah, you should be right where you need to
yes,
be.
so
Yada
they
yada
knew
yada.
exactly where to go. And to
They
me,
had maps and everything.
the biggest reality of the situation that, I feel like everybody got to kind of get the code out their eye on is that wasn't a demonstration.
No,
That was
that wasn't even a protest.
a point that Trump was trying to make on the power that he has. It's not over. So with that being said, and that's why my opening statement was, what do you think Biden and Kamala has to do? Because this is not going to be a simple situation, and we have to look at it as the fact that there's a very large possibility we might be looking at a small civil war on our hands.
Yeah, and that's kind of what worries me the most, in all honesty. We get through inauguration and it feels like everything's calm right now, but in reality, we're looking at, it could be another short 4 years or less before we're looking at the same exact thing, except for it might be even more dangerous because it's not some dumbass who can't control his speech patterns on stage. It might be someone who actually knows how to not dog whistle 24/7 and pull back and refrain and do half of this shit behind the scenes. And that should be
Yes.
the really scary thing. A lot of Republicans, when they saw what Donald Trump was doing and the way that he amassed power so quickly, man, they got excited. I mean,
Yes.
look at Ted Cruz. He is out empowered like a motherfucker.
And see, Cruz. Oh, you can say motherfucker now. We own this station. Dick whistle. Just let you know. Like we can say what we want to say. But Ted Cruz is one of the ones that scares me the most, and that's what I was talking to you before we got started on some information that had me thinking a lot. Okay, as we know, if you're from the DFW, you know in a weird way, Tarrant and Dallas counties are divided, right? But now I know how deep that dividing line goes. Tarrant County is the only county in America that's a dense county that's all red, right? On the flip side of that, in the past few years, Dallas County has very recently become blue. They flipped blue and been like hardcore blue, right?
Yes.
So what Ted does is first, he's going to go to all the rural counties and everything because that's his vote. Because statistically speaking, there's not a lot of dense areas that exist now that are red.
Those areas are the places that Ted Cruz represents in the first place. I mean, you look at the voting map from the last election, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, we're blue. And then you look across the rest of our state,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
Ted
pretty
Cruz
much
country.
red, yeah.
It's red, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, okay, we live in Texas, and we've been here for a while, so we know how the shift is going. The populations are rising very quickly
And we're getting a lot of people from out of state.
that think differently. And not only do they think differently, but these different thinkers, they got money. Like Musk, he's in Austin now.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Trip me out. Yes, he's officially said he's staying, because they don't want to deal with the tax laws that are going on in California. That's why all those companies are going here, for those that didn't know. In the past, since the freaking pandemic, 5 Fortune 500 companies have moved to the DFW area. And that's why you see so much building quickly. Some people are just getting small warehouses. Some people are getting big ones. Some people are getting those skyscrapers that you see have been going up for auction, and different people are buying them.
Right.
And so with that shift, our whole world could be changing. So if this is what's finna happen, the reason why I said, we don't want our new president to be another pawn. So I say that to say, he said a lot of good things for us. And a lot of the stuff he's doing in the past, just a couple of days, have been wonderful things. But we as American people, we have to hold him accountable, especially those that are in Texas, California, New York, and all those big states that are shifts.
Yes.
We Texas right now in the past 5 years defined shift and redefined shift because the population rose so quickly.
Yeah, but we're still so behind that curve, though,
get
that
into that.
I mean, what was it? I was watching Joe Rogan, was a couple of months ago when he had Dave Chappelle on, and Dave Chappelle walks in, and he's like, you want to smoke something in here? And Dave Chappelle's like, I could do that here? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. And the first thing I had thought was like, not necessarily, man. Y'all don't know necessarily what you're getting into coming down here. Because the fact is that, like you said, our whole area is fragmented. I mean, look at marijuana legalization in Texas.
Oh my
There are
God.
select counties that are sitting right next to each other that are decriminalized. And then the county right over, it's the same charge as it's ever been.
mean, yeah, just like Prohibition was. You know, there's certain counties that's just start getting wet.
Yes.
Before they, you know, even like Collin County, it took a long time for them to just decide, okay, we're gonna go ahead and let it be a little moist. And you know, the thing about Texas that we have to understand is this is not a morality state like people think it is.
We're still a part of the Bible
It's
Belt
100, but see, they use that.
as an excuse
So
to.
that right there, it's the power, right? What it is, this is a very commerce state. This is why so many companies are coming here, because what they're gonna do, I'm gonna say this, so when you see it in a year, you're gonna know. I've been watching this shit. It's been really tripping me out in the business journal. They're keeping these taxes really low so people can start buying up the land. Right? But when they're buying up the land, they're buying up the land on government liens. So what's gonna happen is with a lien in the state of Texas, you can tax a lien. So we're gonna get them here, watch their business begin to flourish. Let me get that.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we work. Whereas most states, you know, I'm basing this on the few states that I actually know personally, like, you know, Oklahoma, Colorado, that have legalized marijuana. The way that it is, like, let's say you're a landowner and, you know, you own all the land that's around you and you get the license to become a grower.
Right.
You own that crop.
Right.
You can decide how you're going to tax it. Texas ain't finna go for that.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So they make it seem like it's morality so they can keep the people from voting for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I had this conversation with an actual police officer. And I'm proud of him because he's very intelligent. You know, he's not a dumb guy. And I was like, so would you take somebody to jail for weed? And he was like, depending on how much they got, define that. You know, and then when I wasn't even doing it, he was like, you don't have any on you? I was like, no, it's not about, I'm not asking you to try to get away with something. I'm asking you this for a real specific reason. I was like, why does it matter if it's a lot? He said, because if it's a lot, they're selling it. What's wrong with weed? You know, it's a drug. Define how it is. Because now people are using it for medicinal purposes, and it's proven.
Right.
You know, especially with Parkinson's, it's proven.
Well, and the worst thing is that if you look at every state that's sitting around us right now, and I know this because right when they were shutting down the country, I was taking a little road trip from Washington State all the way down to Texas.
Goodness.
And every state from Washington State down to Texas is either medical or recreationally legal. And they're advertising it on every billboard.
Right.
And what happens is you cross over the Texas state line, and every billboard for the first 100 miles is a billboard that says, "Hey, if you're holding right now, here's the number you need to call because we are going to lock your ass up the minute you come to Texas." And that should tell you everything about what's going on here. Is that we don't care what's going on in the rest of the country. We're just going to stubbornly stay where we're at. But the problem is that, I mean, our government is no different than like, they call it a system because it's no different than a video game system, and it needs updating every few months, or else it's just an exploit. It's just going to become broken
I like the way
and
you put that.
unusable within a few years. And that's where we're sitting at in Texas, where, yeah, we're finally making some changes, but it's too slow for the rate we got people coming in from California and Colorado and, you know, states
Arizona, and the thing is, I wish we were really looking at the money the right way because, first of all, Colorado in particular, the crime rate has gone down tremendously. A lot of people that were, you know, in homeless shelters to, what do they call them, insane asylums, they've been released.
Right.
Because now, you know what I'm saying, that's one thing that we got. It's this nice chemical called fuck it. And you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, if you mad, you know, you got to think about that. Like, seriously, like, when you, let's say you're really angry, and I know this because I'm a fucking drinker. if you are really angry and you drink, you're gonna lash out, right? But if you're really angry and you mellow, you're gonna mellow. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's not gonna be anything else. Like, and with 2019, all the murders that happened in Dallas, I would think the first thing they would want to do is legalize marijuana.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them, from wrongful death to all this bullshit. Now you got rappers killing each other and stuff. You think it's too much pent up anger, and I get why. It's a lot been going on in 2020. You don't think that would just change things just a little bit?
Just a
Let's
little
turn
bit,
this volume
yeah.
down. I'm not saying it's going to be the problem solver, but it'll help.
But I mean, it's kind of like you were talking about earlier. I mean, you're talking about Texas doesn't really have any state taxes. So where are we getting all of our state funding from then? We're getting it from sales taxes, business
Yes.
taxes,
Yes.
Yep.
and petty crime, petty tickets,
Yep.
whatever you can turn over real quickly. They love that shit
Yes.
in this state. So the reason why they're not making those changes is because it has nothing to do with what anybody wants. It has everything to do with where are we going to get our money from then.
Thank you.
Which is, you know what, I understand that, but at the end of the day, if everybody in charge sits there and says there's nothing we can do about it, then who are we supposed to be looking to for the answers then? I was one of the funniest, or not funny, the most disgusting things to come out of 2020 was I was watching this video of a town hall they were holding in California after the protests broke out, and they just let people call in free for them. And for 6 hours, you have people calling in like, hey, why aren't you doing something about this? Why aren't you doing something about this? Why aren't you doing something about this? And these 10 people who are supposed to be in charge of these issues are all sitting there going, well, it's the other guy's fault. It's the other guy's job. Nothing I can do about this. Nothing I can do about that. But y'all are the ones setting the standards. Y'all are the ones writing the policies.
Right.
So who has the answers then? Because, you know, I can't fix it, certainly. But if you can't, then who are we supposed to look into for these issues?
Which, I'm happy you said that. That sparked a new question of something we were loosely discussing the other day. As an artist, seeing all these things that are going on in the world, how do you reach your people and try to find a voice? Because I know on both sides of said issue, most people don't want to feel like what they're saying is either like profiting off of pain or trying to advocate some weird stereotype. You know what I'm saying? How do you find that lane for yourself?
You know, I have to be honest, like that's still something I'm working through myself. If you remember, whenever you and I met up a couple of years ago, just doing the shows around here, I switch all my songs on a regular basis, but there's
Right.
one song I promoted more than anything, and that was Red and Blue Lights for
Right.
this particular reason. And I actually, one of the things that made me start educating myself a lot more and keeping myself informed was when George Floyd passed. You know, some of the responses on Twitter and Facebook were like, yo, where are the white artists at? Where are the,
Right.
you know, you profit off of us, but you don't have anything to say in these issues. And my first response was, you know, a little bit like, hey, actually, no, I've been trying to address this where I can.
Right.
But at the same time, like, you got to hear people out. So I went and I looked at all my counterparts just to kind of see what the common response was. And it was either nothing or, as you said, profiting off of people's pain. I saw Yellow Wolf selling George Floyd t-shirts, and it's
Right.
like, you know, how is this better? How are you helping anybody
Exactly.
by doing this? And it, you know, since then, I've kind of had to ask myself that question every step of the way, because as an artist, this has always been one of my goals is to always feel like that I'm talking about the important things and I'm addressing the important things.
Right.
But doing that in a way that isn't profiting off of people's pain, it's a hard line to figure out
Right.
sometimes.
Yes, it is.
And I mean, what I've had to do is listen and focus more on the essentials. I mean, I've been listening to hip hop my whole life, and
Right.
I listen all the way back to the oldies, and I'm in touch enough with the culture to understand that this is where it's always been, and in some ways what it's always been about. So a lot of it's just getting back to the basics, I
Right.
guess. You know, as you and I were talking about earlier, I obviously haven't been doing a lot of shows in the pandemic.
Of course.
But I have been trying to put out as much music within these parameters as possible to kind of, at least for my own fan base, because a lot of times as a white artist, I have two kinds of fans. I have people who go, oh, you're doing real shit, and I like that. And then I got other people that will say, oh, well, I don't typically listen to hip hop, but I like what you're doing. And to those people, I've had to go, you know what? Nah, you've got it all wrong, and switched my music to saying, nah, you need to get your head straight, and this is the way you need to be looking at this shit, because what I'm doing is no different. What I'm talking about is no different, and it's all the same.
Right.
It's all the same message at the end of the day, which is hip hop for me has always been something where we are able to talk about things that other artists, other mediums are not allowed to address, because we're allowed to be controversial where other people are not. So at a certain point, I think it just becomes our responsibility to make sure that we're educated and addressing these things whenever and wherever we can, and bring that back into the normal of hip hop in some way, shape, or form, which I think
Okay.
is already happening.
Right.
Yes.
It's actually, been happening a lot. But that's the reason why I asked the question, because you have some artists who just, big and small, who just put it out there. And, it wasn't really about profiting, because half of them was putting them on free streaming websites, right? And then you have other artists that are commercial that it's hard for me to say, is this a voice thing or is this a profiting off a pain thing? And speaking of that, since you are that type of artist, what kind of music did you bring to us?
Well, what y'all get uploaded? Because I certainly...
Big boy, help.
I'm just listening. I'm just chilling today, man.
Right.
I'm on camera, but everybody's probably thinking like, "What? Why big boy talking?"
Just chilling.
I got Riot, Rome Burning, and Red Rum.
You know what? Let's start with Rome's Burning. It speaks for itself. If you don't understand the metaphor after listening to the hook, then this is the point where you go and, do some Google searches. But I'm just going to let this song speak for itself. This is Rome's Burning.
Yes, sir.
Right. Hold on. What did I do?
Oh, Big Boy cracks me up. Shout out to Big Boy, man. He quiet, but he here, man. He here.
Here
I
we
knew
go.
he just wanted to hear it.
Man, it's all fun and games till you're watching Rome burn. Little boy, you gon' learn. Yeah, boy, the free world's dead. We all locked in the urn. When is you gon' learn? So I smoke my strong and inhale the purple, cause my country looks like Constantinople. Yeah, I sip my brew, flip off the bubble. You so Istanbul, Constantinople. I see a fire rise out of the west. It's like the sun touched down when it set. Executive powers, a civil war threat. So I'm moving through my city like a Vietnam vet. Police leaning on the set, kill a dynasty. Government will grab me by the neck just to silence me. The ones that I ride with get respect. Do the time with me, how to ride out the apocalypse and just vibe with me. If you don't side with me, you must be the ops. It's the Black Lives Matter. Someone please arrest those cops. Swear to God, I thought the laws would keep the killers off the block. If you wanna clean up the streets, then you need to pick up a mop for someone else's lost. Man, it's all fun and games till you're watching Rome burn. Little boy, you gon' learn. Yeah, boy, the free world's dead. We all locked in the urn. When is you gon' learn? So I smoke my strong and inhale the purple, cause my country looks like Constantinople. Yeah, I sip my brew, flip off the bubble. You so Istanbul, Constantinople. On God, that Omega stand for Magnum. America is dead, call it rolling in the phantom. You don't represent me, I won't stand for your anthem. Trade a president for a Twitter tirade tantrum. We bow to them bands, let loose on the fans. Only take a few words, revolution on demand. The ones they don't kill end up locked in the can. We say power to the people because the power's in our hands. Take a stand till they understand. We see through the front, partisan. I see prideful men, hit them with the pump. Bet you boys make a lot of noise. Come on, back it up. Yes, bitch, fuck your racist shit. Stand by while I don't. And it's all fun and games till you watching Rome burn. Little boy, you gon' learn. Yeah, boy, the free world's dead. We all locked in the urn. When is you gon' learn? So I smoke my strong and inhale the purple, cause my country looks like Constantinople. Yeah, I sip my brew, flip off the bubble. You so Istanbul, Constantinople.
And if we're wrong, we will be made fools of. But if we're right, a lot of them will go to jail. So, let's have trial by combat.
This gathering should send a message to them. This isn't their Republican Party anymore. This is
I didn't know if I
Donald
was pushing it a
Trump's
little too
Republican Party. This is the Republican Party that will put America first.
Oh my goodness. Yo, man, it's your boy Knowledge 405. And I'm with the boy Big Boy that's been extremely quiet for this show, and you watching Southern Vibe Radio. And that record you just heard. So I have to ask you, I know we were talking about this during the break, but the people didn't hear that. Like, what truly inspired that song? Because it's a very fiery song.
So I pay attention, I stay on social media, and I keep up with the news. And so a couple of weeks...
Oh, and Glow said, what's up, bro?
Oh, what's up? A couple of weeks before inauguration, I kind of already heard that some things were going to kind of go down at the Capitol within a couple of weeks of there. And it kind of made me nervous because I've been doing my own thing through 2020. And I kind of had a feeling like, as you and I were talking about, there's a lot of things to be worried about right now. And so I was ready to, if things really got popping off and they didn't settle down, I was going to go up to D.C. and protest up there. But when the riots actually happened and I realized that I kind of missed my mark, I was hurting inside and I didn't know how else to respond, I guess. And I felt like before I go and any farther with my plans, I need to do something like this to make people more aware of what we're forgetting in this year with all of the issues going on.
Right.
I thought it was sad about June, right? I blacked out. I blacked out up until June because that's what they were talking about on Twitter.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just gonna go up until my birthday, and because it's at the end of June, and that felt like long enough. And I think it was the last week of June. Some person walked up to me at the grocery store, like, people are still talking about this. Like, people are still upset about this, and I was pissed. It's like, dude, nothing changed. Nothing got fixed. No one got prosecuted for Breonna Taylor. None of those cops. And a lot of people aren't aware of this. All of the cops that were involved with George Floyd, except for the one who actually kneeled on his neck, they were let off. And the guy that kneeled on his fucking neck, he's walking around free right now. He got off on bail until they take him to court, whenever that is, because we all know how the legal system works. That could be 6 months.
Years.
Yeah, it could be years.
Yeah.
It could be years. And that shit is disgusting, and it made it to where I could not, I haven't been able to unregister this since then. It stuck with me because, like, how can you forget within a couple of weeks something so recent and that nothing got done for? So we talk about it and it's fixed now? No, that's not how any of this works.
Yes, and I feel like so many people have been desensitized because it's like the problem with social media is these things that are really happening look like movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You wouldn't expect it. I mean,
yes.
everything just really, like you said, like out of a movie.
Yeah, and like, I didn't watch that George shit for a long time because I knew I wouldn't be able to sit through it. But my daughter asked me about it. I was like, you watched it? And she was like crying. You know, my children are, 2 in the morning black, the most beautiful black they could be. And they were actually afraid for their lives because George Floyd looked like them.
Right.
8 minutes and 46 seconds. And now I have to explain to my boys when they walk home from school to be careful when you see Grand Prairie police.
Right.
Just come straight home. I just want to see you. You know what I'm saying? And for them to know that being, 13 and 15 is just like, it's heartbreaking because you don't want them to think that way because I got them in an inclusion school where it's culture. It's so many different races in this school and they still got to feel different.
Right. And at the end of the day, we teach our children to love themselves for who they are and to be confident in who they are. And what do you do with that? Like,
right.
What do you do when life is telling you different, especially when we're supposed to be, I'm going to say this carefully, supposed to be living in a free country, an equal country. And, the sad fact is that we don't live up to that most of the time, but that doesn't mean that we still shouldn't strive to be.
Right. And, that's me as a person. And obviously you are, I know enough about you to know that you think that way. But you don't want to see color, and you have to. That, it's heart-wrenching because, okay, so my brother, he's happily married. Mm-hmm. My daughter asked, does she have privilege over him? Because she's white. Mm-hmm. She never even seen that before until very recently, that it was a difference. Right. This is family. This is your auntie. You've known this woman most of your life. Right. It's nothing. We don't have that kind of household. I'm thankful for that. Mm-hmm. And now I do have to break things down. Yes, it is different, but what I want you to do instead of fighting, because my kids, they're mine, so they're a little militant. Mm-hmm. So I had to be like, instead of even worry about fighting with your fist, fuck that. Fight with this. Yeah. Because you don't want them to win on the stigma that they think you're stupid already. Right. And especially with, Obama, Mrs. Harris, it's not an impossible way to be able to break through and try to make a difference being a person of color, okay, I have to ask you a question, Mr. Allen.
Go ahead.
Because of who you are. Mm-hmm. Do you get flack for being who you are?
In what regard?
And I'm saying this from okay, the first time I met you, saying you had different type of music or whatever, what I'm saying? We kicked it and it was cool, but I can't help but think, I'd be 1,000 with you. I have racists in my family. Mm-hmm. Do you? And what does that feel like? Because it has to be awkward, especially you in Spanish being as cool as y'all are and the kind of person you are.
I'm going to be careful about how I talk about this because I don't want to come in here and just call people out. What I will say is that part of the reason, if you remember correctly, before the pandemic, I lost a relative and I kind of dropped off the map. And I told you at the time it was complicated. I don't want to get into it, but I feel like I need to step away for a minute. And that was actually why, on that side of my family, that was the last relative that I have contact with because of who I am and who I've chosen to be and what I choose to do. And in a lot of ways, I catch a lot of flack for who I am in a lot of different regards, but at the same time, I tend to look at it as I'm just a little ahead of the curve. I like that. I'm aware of things. I've been privileged enough to be aware of things that most people just don't have any clue about. Like we were talking about earlier with Oklahoma, a lot of people aren't aware of that. I've educated myself on it, so I'm not getting sidelined by it when issues like the Black Lives Matter protests kick off. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's more important for me to continue being the way I am because what I'm beginning to realize is more people are catching up to where I'm at than
they are actually. Respect, man.
Me to regress.
I said that because that was a segue leading to me saying the upsides of 2020. Okay, one of the protests happened right in front of this building.
Yes, I saw that.
Yep.
There's this white guy I used to see pass by me every day because at that time I was coming to the studio a lot before the pandemic shut down. Mm-hmm. Every day. We've never said a word to each other. And it wasn't nothing to me. You know, I be having my headphones on. I'm in my own world. You know what I'm saying? He could have, and I didn't see it. And he seen me, and he said, man, I see you every day. I've never talked to you. And he hugged me. And after that day, every day I see this man. He's like, I mean, what you doing? You making money? You making like he come to find out, very funny guy, real cool dude. And if it wasn't for what was going on, we would have never had a conversation. So I say months after, I asked him like, what made you do that? And he was just like, just seeing how you guys were out here versus what the news was saying. Because like I said, that was right in front of us. We saw what was going on. There wasn't no exciting of violence or any of those things. It was really one of the most beautiful things I've ever saw. Like black, brown, Asian, white, every race seeing an issue that needs to be addressed and being passionate about it. And these dudes was marching, man.
Right.
And it was one of the most beautiful. I was almost in tears to see it. I was like, I had to follow him. I had to see it for what it was. And then when I seen it on the news, all these windows got busted out. That wasn't them.
No.
I can prove it. Like I said it on the last show. I saw those guys in the black outfits knocking out windows. They wasn't even in that crowd.
No.
So had nothing to do with those people. And that shows you how they don't want you and I to even be cool, because the narrative is I'm supposed to be violent. And that's not even the narrative in reality. Like, it was so much peace and so much love. They don't want that in no Dallas. Oh, no.
But see, this speaks to a bigger issue that I've been trying to emphasize to people, and that's the fact that the way that the system has made it to where we can't make these changes is by trying to fit us all into bubbles and making every issue a minority issue, while we're in a democracy and you need a majority to make any change. So when you're talking about, I have as you said, I work with young Spanish a lot, and I know a lot of Latino folks, and they're like, well, you know, I support Black Lives Matter, but why doesn't my life matter too? And the one thing I'll tell them is, it does. This same issue affects you just as much as it just has that label, and that's the way that the system likes to promote it. Is this is just a black issue, but at the end of the day, it's an issue that affects us all in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, and it does affect us all, but that's where I feel like people got it all the way fucked up. Black Lives Matter wasn't saying that nobody else's matters.
Exactly.
But we are being gunned down, and
Exactly.
we are human beings. We bleed red just like everybody else too. We have souls. We have families to go to. We love our families, and you know me, I'm an over-researcher.
Right.
Damn near everybody that got killed, hold on, I need a moment. Damn near everybody that got killed they didn't even have criminal records.
Yep.
These weren't bad people. You know, they might have found some marijuana in his car. The dude that had a gun that was registered and not loaded got killed in front of his woman and his son. I can't imagine that. You know what I'm saying? And so the reality of it is, you can't create a stigma for a human being. Because let's be real here. Let's say, you know, when we were young, we were probably stupid as shit. You could have went to jail when you were 16 and be a whole different person when you're 36.
Oh yeah.
So to even try to dig something up about a man who was learning how to be a man, it's just so much bullshit in that. You know, like Botham. And I didn't know him personally, but my wife did. You know, like she's a holy roller. Like, she goes to church. So, you know, she's going to sing at his church a lot. You know what I'm saying? In West Dallas Church of Christ. Shout out to all y'all, man. I messes with y'all. Y'all good people. So when she was talking about that dude, she was like, man, I can't believe they're trying to portray him like this.
But
You know, 'cause he was
why
like,
should you have to portray anyone as anything when they're
Exactly.
getting shot in their own
That's
home?
in your home.
In your home.
The place that's supposed to be your safe haven.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about you, but all that work I do, I can't wait to get home.
But you're talking about we're still in the same country that made fucking George Zimmerman a celebrity as opposed to locking his ass up.
Real talk.
You see why I brought him? You see why I brought him, big boy? You see? Yes. Like, that is what we have to get out of. Because I feel like let's say something like that. To a man that's not racist, but very pro-black, he could see that with like negative sunglasses on. and be like, okay, that's how they all think. Those are the thought processes I want to change, which is, why it was important for me to bring you here, because not only do I know you, but I feel like, you can bring some light to the end. At the end of the day, all I really want is for us to start spreading love. We went through 4 years of hate, and it doesn't matter if you're a Trump fan or not, because that's not what I'm here to condone. I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat. It's not about that for me. But you have to see things for what they are. No matter who, you know what I'm saying? Had Shaquille O'Neal been doing that, and I love Shaq. Had Shaquille O'Neal been doing that, I'd be in Shaquille's ass. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm not saying that every president we don't have some kind of bullshit tied to them.
Oh, yeah.
But this man is blatant with his. And it's a controlled agenda because, knowing Trump's history, he's not from a racist area. And I actually don't believe that he's a racist.
No,
but I
he's an
believe he's a
idiot.
chess player. I take it even further. He's a chess player.
Okay.
I seen this interview with him, I'd say back in 2004, where he said if he ever ran for president, how he was going to do it. And it's going to work. He's going to go to rural whites and make them feel superior. And it's going to work. He said this shit. So it was already premeditated on how he did it. I say that to say that I disagree with what a lot of people say. This dude's not stupid.
Okay.
In no form or fashion. He's not stupid. Arrogant.
Okay.
Maybe a bit of a narcissist. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I say all that. But it was always with an agenda. It was always with an agenda. And I say all that to say one thing. His agenda is not over.
No, it's
There was a reason why he did everything he did, and it wasn't to storm the White House. It was so much bigger than that. I think he just wanted to see if he could. Now that he knows that he can, what is he really going to do?
See, and here's what concerns me, and what has concerned me about Trump and most of the MAGA folks. I'm not going to say all, because I know people who are just straight up MAGA because they vote Republican every time. And that's the way they go. But I don't think a lot of people are aware of the racist elements that are still in our population, what their goals are, what they're looking for, and what they're trying to accomplish with their beliefs in the first place.
Correct.
I used to watch a lot of the History Channel back when I was in high school, and they used to have shows like Gangland, where they would talk about all these different.
I love Gangland.
Yeah, it was my favorite show.
Yes.
And what's funny is, and not funny, is at the end of any of the segments they had addressing a white supremacist group like the KKK or neo-Nazis, it always ends with, it didn't end with they went away and everyone was happily ever after. It went, they're going and trying to find power to instigate their little race war. And
Yes.
to get, and what I hear when I hear that is, you're trying to trigger people. You're trying to
Yes.
mess with people's emotions to get them to lash out on your behalf to make, to help grow your means to an end.
Yes.
And
That's what it's all about.
that played out, though. That all played out in the last 4 years. And we were about this close to that being the end goal, right?
Yes.
And to a point where we're still talking about maybe in 4 years, this is still a possibility. And that's a scary fucking
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
That's terrifying. And the reason why I'm going to give you the fact that Donald Trump is probably not a complete idiot, the reason I call him an idiot is because I don't think he realizes his own movement is hijacked by something totally different. Or maybe he does, and that's the reason why he can't denounce those groups openly on stage.
Because he know what could happen to him.
Yeah, because he knows where
these are real groups.
he knows where he's getting his power and
Yes,
influence from.
And that's the thing. His intention, I feel like, a man like Trump, if you look at his history, it's all about power and the manipulation of said power, how he can rebuild that power, like how he would go bankrupt.
And then come back.
No, he would go bankrupt in order to come back and build another company. So he doesn't have the assets to continue to take care of a company that he can still technically own. It's fucked up how that shit works. This man, that's why I say, oh, this man's far from stupid. What he does, now, the only thing that would have kept him from winning, and I'm so happy he's like that, because if he wasn't like that, then people that were rational, that were Republicans, wouldn't have went against, like, hold up, wait a minute, bro, you're going too far, was his narcissism. That narcissism was some woo-wee. That's what really killed it. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for that, that's what scares me. He would have still controlled the entire situation, bro.
Yes, unfortunately.
To have that kind of control.
And even then, he still came very,
Hey,
very
pause,
close.
guys. Yes, big boy. Big boy's here. He's supposed to be over there, but he's here.
Yeah, I put the logo on over there.
Ah, nice.
Have your 8:30.
I have my 8:30. So, play one more GM song
Okay.
for me.
All right.
I want Riot. I like Riot.
You like Riot?
Yeah. I have a request because I'm cool.
Go ahead.
But the last thing I want to say, you know, to segue this, first of all, I really appreciate your perspective. You know, because we talk about this on the phone, and I'm the worst texter in the world, but I always read.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me because we definitely needed to have this
Yes.
conversation in a longer forum than
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, the biggest thing with the conversation is we know change is going to come and we need it, but we also need to be prepared for
And
the
aware.
worst. Prepared and aware. I like the way you said that. So people who are looking for a positive approach on life, like he said, stand up and stand by.
All right.
No stand down, stand up. We need you. You know, I appreciate you. And if nobody has said this to you, we need people like you, bro. So
Thank
don't lose confidence in that because you could be one of the catalysts that's needed in the city.
Hey, man, I'm 160 songs in at this point. I'm not going anywhere.
You heard that? And we finna hear 161 right now with my request, Riot.
Here we go.
Bro, you're awesome. I appreciate it. And I knew
They said President Trump started screaming, ranting, and raving that on the southern border, where we are right now building a tremendous wall, it's unbelievable what's going on. Army Corps of Engineers, we're doing a lot. We have over 100 miles under construction completed. We're going to end up with over 400 to 500. Okay, ready? Then I wanted a wall, but I wanted a moat.
Feel it hit the toe, you ain't ready, ho. It's a problem with the system, baby, not your radio. You keep it real, plain and real. We're going hard, man, don't bitch. I brought it cause I'm on it. If you want it, let me know. Who's that people know? Police said, go. Could be robbers or some coppers. They don't knock right here no more. We're just peaceful folk. All we need is hope. Being good. Big ass on your forecast. We don't need no sun. It's about all that peaceful talk got that on the right. Till neighbors got homicide. Real Americans in denial. Yeah, wait, it's still the first title. Yeah, outside shit, it's been a while. Yeah, the news fake smiles, kids in cages for his fires, and the goodness, ooh, Lord child. But don't listen to me, cause I do. I don't mean them things that I wrote. Saying sorry, baby, I won't. Wanna say something, maybe just don't. They fucking with your votes. Go and get them, folks. Go and get them, bro. Yeah, I'm in this coat, me and my dirty for days. Guessing that I'ma need a soap. I don't need a hope. So bitch, you like a sassy hoe. Talking rivers, playing on my heart just like a Casio. We don't want that, though, pump the brakes. We just want your boss. Whatever the cost, whatever it takes. This is America filled with alligators and snakes. Step your game up, you should try. Got a grumble in my tummy, staying hungry, fucking died. It's a jungle where we from. We ain't known for being quiet. You don't wanna keep the peace. Go with me to start a motherfucking riot. Fuck a politician on sight. That's my policy. Don't believe what they promise me. Man, it's all hypocrisy. Oops, I mean monopoly. What the fuck's a democracy? A game of dominoes, they all fall. It's a prophecy. East of the sea, they all rise and they crash down. Fascists love to watch them burn, get high off the ash clouds. America is great again. If you ignore the black child, lock up all the Latin names, ignore that. Crack a smile, call that a cracker smile. Trojan was a pecker wood. I ain't fix the lower class. We gon' disinfect the hood. Let the virus kill the rest. Help them all, I wish we could. But that ain't my job for real. You got me misunderstood. It could be somewhere under this umbrella. Matter of fact, it's him, the other guy, that young fella. I ain't singing the chorus, sing behind acapella. Yes, I was on the cello, thought it was Rockefeller. Really awesome bells, huh? 1984, with my visions 2020. When it comes to the war, there horses on the ride. Death is knocking at your door. Standing by you at the store. You either matter or you poor. Wow. Step your game up, you should try. Got a grumble in my tummy, staying hungry. Fucking died. It's a jungle where we from. We ain't known for being quiet. You don't wanna keep the peace. Go with me to start a motherfucking riot.
And I want it to be electrified. And I wanted sharp spikes at the top. So if anyone gets it, it goes piercing through their skin, is somewhat the way they say it. Skin piercing spikes. But I want that whole world to be electrified. And certainly, you never said that. They came to me, the Thomas people. They came to me yesterday. And they said, stupid question. Because the fake news media is saying that you said this in a book. I said, what book? And they said, Washington Post. I said, well, obviously it's fake, because almost everything the Washington Post does is fake. It's a fake newspaper. It's owned by a rich guy for the purposes of giving him power in Washington.
Empathy. The experiencing as one's own of the feelings of another. Also, the capacity for this. Empathetic.
Yeah. I just wanna kick it like Beckham till I hit the fan like Bedlam. Struggle I end up dead from my reflection. Red rum. I just wanna kick it like Beckham till I hit the fan like Bedlam. Struggle I end up dead from my reflection. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Yeah. Red rum. Red rum. Yeah. Red rum. Red rum. I do not love myself, it's my preset condition. I was born in this world without a pot to piss in, without no clothes that fit me, without no ear to listen. So when I talk to my mic, I don't need your permission. I never fit in the equation, algebraic or addition. The story of my life has been formatted to Pulp Fiction. Running in this rat race as if pain is a competition. I'm losing my inhibition, fight the barrel and end the mission. Who cares if I end up missing? If I kill off all the doubt, a friendly face in the rain is just like rain off in a drought. You really don't notice either until the moment they start to run out. So try not to fumble your plays while you out here running your routes, bruh. I just wanna kick it like Beckham till I hit the fan like Bedlam. Struggle I end up dead from my reflection. Red rum. I just wanna kick it like Beckham till I hit the fan like Bedlam. Struggle I end up dead from my reflection. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Yeah. Red rum. Red rum. Yeah. Red rum. Red rum. Am I even people? I swear this world don't see me. Move like I got a death wish. At night I dream a genie. Like, don't it look so easy? I mean, damn, it looks so easy. Just to work a 9 to 5, live that good life and be cheesy. But it ain't that, believe me, and I know I'll find it in time. One day I'm bound to get mine if I keep my heart out in the grind. God gave me the heart of a lion, even if it's been out on the line. I don't trust these people cause they lying, so I be relying on my 9. I ain't dying cause you petty. They love eyeing your fetty. Then they always say they got love for you while they out here picking your celly. Find out the clip you run with, keep more beef than a deli. Teflon all on my belly, like word to Machiavelli, huh? I just wanna kick it like Beckham till I hit the fan like Bedlam. Struggle I end up dead from my reflection. Red rum. I just wanna kick it like Beckham till I hit the fan like Bedlam. Struggle I end up dead from my reflection. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Yeah. Red rum. Red rum. Yeah. Red rum. Red rum.
Yo, man, it's your boy Knowledge 405 with Southern Vibe Radio, man. And y'all just earlier, we had a long conversation with GM Allen, and I'm happy that y'all saw that perspective and wasn't nobody even on no negativity when we had that perspective. But now, I'm finna let everybody know ahead of time. I'm finna be on some bullshit because I got a certain person here that's finna bring the inner bullshit out of me. I'm gonna introduce this motherfucker the way I wanna do it. The one and only say it ain't so, nigga. The will hurt you and make you want to fight him in the battle. Fuck you, ass nigga. Quit rapping and then come the fuck back, ass nigga. The barbecuing, catering, videographer, and picture ass nigga.
Yo.
The nigga that will call you dick snot to your motherfucking face and won't even say nothing about the shit. One and only, one of North Dallas' finest by way of Chicago. The one and only, Devin the boy.
Oh man, he governmented me like that.
Boy, P.C.
Yeah.
I can't do that shit.
Hey, you
I
know
can't
what?
do that shit.
I had to tell my kid, bro. I don't know how to do it like on purpose.
For real?
Nah, for
That's
real.
funny.
Like I only know how to do it. Like if I think something is really funny, or I'm sorry, yeah.
He's a multitasker.
No, I only know how to say it when that shit is like something really funny or fucking I'm finna record.
That shit be
Outside of that,
hilarious
I don't
because
know.
I'll watch him record and I already know when it's happening. I was like, how you know how to do that shit on cue?
Yeah, I mean, it's like as I'm writing it, I kind of write it into the.
I like that.
You know, it's like well placed. It has to be timed.
Okay.
Because the goal is when I do a show, if motherfuckers know it, you know they
Right. And that would definitely look great on camera.
Yeah. That's the whole point of trying to do it, man.
So, since I know you, certain questions I'm allowed to ask.
Okay, let's
that
do it.
I couldn't wait to ask. Like,
Let's
I've been
do
waiting to
it.
get you in here for a minute. So, with me, you know what I'm saying, being a part of, you know, it's school, bitch. Thug School back in the Gap.
Bitch.
You know what I'm saying? We were like headhunters when it came to, you know, showing everybody what we were as a front from, you know, whether it been a battle rapper, a super duper hip hopper like my ass is, you know, singers, right? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? We had the complete package. And then, you know what I'm saying? Our head honcho retired.
No, but wait. Now, I feel like that statement was taken out of context because I didn't retire until all you guys left. Like it was. There we go. Yeah, I didn't retire until, you know, you guys left, man.
I don't know how old some of y'all is, but this reminds me of a Jamie Foxx episode where he says, you know, I quit because you were gonna fire me. And then the other dude was like, he died. So my thing was, you know, from the perspective, we were supposed to do this record called the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I was very, you know, enthused about it. But at the same time, you know, he knows me, and anybody that knows me know I always got something else going on. Like, I try to plan ahead on some NK shit, because shit be happening to a nigga, and I've learned. So when it seemed like it was getting to that point, you know, personally, with me, it wasn't you.
Nah, man,
It was more like we all
when
had.
we were young, like
since
when we
you
were
very young.
When we were
And
in
stupid.
school, bro. Like I think it was one of those things to where it made logical sense. Like we were the dopest in the city.
Period.
And why not? That was my thing behind the school. Like why not have the dopest niggas, the dopest artists together? So that way, when you see us, like you
What
have
can
no
you say?
choice but to see us.
Yeah.
You know, and the shit was
Shout out to
so
Reese.
dope. You know, shout out to Reese, Javon, shout out to fucking
Javon.
Armani, shout out to you, shout out.
I miss Javon, man. That's my dog.
I just seen Javon the other day.
Javon's Javon.
I just seen
It's
him
hard
the
to
other
catch
day,
up.
Yeah, you know, but I think the thing with that was, you know, and I say it and say it ain't so, you know, but when we took off, I swear this wasn't the planned landing, but we
Right.
crashed and it was all due to bad planning.
Yeah.
Now when I step out, they be asking where the school at. We wasn't eating, so they probably where the food at. I learned
Right.
lessons in the loss, and I'ma use that to my advantage if I ever get them dudes back. But
Right.
all's good. I wish you all success. Like the shit.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know,
We
like,
didn't have
I'll
we
say
didn't
this.
have a plan. We
Not
were just,
at all.
We were just running around
And
killing niggas. Like we
me
didn't,
being older and having a different understanding, you know, especially like, you know, how to build publishing and things of that nature, how to build those relationships from a business perspective, I would say if I would have went into it, I would have went into it different.
Yeah.
You know, because at that time, you know, me being, you know, I was really fresh here, like, you know, when I met the fellas,
Yeah.
and I was just intrigued by.
Dewan J.
I was
Shout out to
like,
Dewan J.
Dewan J, bro, that's my dog. I love that dude because he always he's like a ray of sunshine. But I actually met all of these guys at the same time, you know, at, was it Rolls Royce or was it
Rolls-Royce.
Murphy's? It was Rolls Royce. And
Because we was already killing Murphy's,
Yeah.
like separately, like
Right. And the thing about, you know, I'm in a spaceship there too. The thing about it is there was something legendary about this place for anybody that was living in North Dallas at the time, and it wasn't the stage; it was the back.
It was the back, yo. It was.
And the
it was
thing is, people that started to get to know who I was said, "This bullshit right here, you can't fuck with him." I said, "Yes, I can." Bullshit. And I was like, "Bro, I'll walk back there and I will get in the flow." And when I tell you, I'm gonna tell the truth. This was the most fun I think I've ever had because he was with the shit too, and I'm not used to that. Like, you know, when I shut motherfuckers up, and then they be like, "Oh, I didn't think that old scrawny Bigfoot motherfucker was gonna do anything." No, I rhymed. And then this nigga was like, "Bitch, I rhyme too." Okay, come on. And we went so long, it was just like, bro, we might as well join forces. It's just like we are only competition. So now niggas be like,
Side note. Knowledge lost that battle.
side note, kiss my ass.
After 6 trillion billion rounds, I want everybody to look at my camera. Where's your camera? I'm gonna look at your camera too, and then I'm gonna look at mine.
Hey, I got $5 on
Knowledge
anybody
lost.
slapping the shit out of PC for no
Hey
reason.
man,
Just-
and I got $5 for anybody who give me $5 to not slap me.
Nice.
just saying,
I see how you
you know?
flipped that. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But you know what was wonderful behind that is that same day, you know what I'm saying, homie invited me to his house.
Yeah.
You know, I got to meet his mother, and you know his wonderful father, God rest his soul. Like that was like the coolest experience because his parents reminded me of my mother.
See, I think a lot of us linked up because of that reason.
Yes.
You know, it was like, man, this shit is dope. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it made sense. Like a lot of that shit made sense.
And it was fun to like on some bullshit because like I was really like now I do music more for therapy, but at that time I was really competitive.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have a team to where I'd be like, "Hey PC, I'm gonna get him, but I want you to get him." And,
Yeah.
and PC, one thing we had in common, which was a great thing to have in common, is we were both like really disrespectful battlers. So we would play with each other like, okay, we finna freestyle to get everybody here. So we playing like we going at each other, and then we know somebody's gonna feel like they're better than everybody. And they gonna come in, and he'll look at me like, I was like, is you gonna get him? I gonna get him? Who gonna get him? This nigga come in, hey, you got the ring right. Like, PC be going off on people.
Yo, and it's simply because like when we used to do those shits, and even now, I'm very apprehensive when I battle with people because a lot of niggas don't take that concept of freestyle battle like serious.
That's
Like,
why
if
I
there's
really
no
stopped.
if there's no element to what it is that you're doing, like if I don't believe that you just thought of that as you were
Right.
rapping. Like a lot of that shit is like very general, and I do it more so for the sport, like when it comes to
Yeah.
battle rapping type
Right.
shit. Like, or even when it comes to freestyle, like just regular freestyle, I'm apprehensive when it comes to just regular freestyling because a lot of niggas go to their memory bank and they try to spit some of their dopest shit, and I don't feel like, even though my freestyle is doper than some of these niggas,
Yeah.
it's just I just don't feel like you're measuring what I'm measuring when it comes to niggas using that shit. Like I'm on some old like freestyle. Like I'm thinking we're having a lyrical exercise, like a lyrical swordplay,
Right.
because you challenge
Iron
me to a
sharpens
duel
iron.
type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's one of those things like, bro, why is that seems reformatted? Like you can tell when niggas reformat and they shit.
Yeah.
Like if a nigga fuck up and then he start with the same bar again, like with no problems, just waiting for the beat to drop. You know, it's
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
things. Like, bro, you haven't mentioned anything around us.
And certain intricacies you'll see, like in a freestyle, that, in my opinion, is what makes a great freestyler.
Yeah.
How you can take something random, you know what I'm saying?
And then it's like, is the
Your shoes
mannerism
as
the
red
same?
as dead as your shoulders or some shit.
Yeah, yeah,
It'd be
yeah.
like the most random, like, I like that.
And you know what I try to tell people is you can always tell if a nigga freestyling because that's their most pure self. Like
Yes.
you can see my demeanor. Like you know the way I talk is the way I rap. So I'll
Yeah.
say some off the wall shit just because it's some shit that I would actually say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when that shit happens, it's literally me like
This motherfucker added "Do the Roar" to a fucking freestyle before. That shit was the funniest shit. I'll bet he don't even remember that. Do the roar.
yeah, man.
I said, this nigga be watching Shrek.
Yeah, bro.
You know, Phineas and Ferb. You know,
Random
like,
shit.
but with all the, you know, the greatness that happened then, building up to now, having, you know, so many different things going on as far as like the hustle of not just music, but just
Life, man.
Life, period. What made you so focused on that?
If I can be very honest, a lot of me staying busy is a distraction. I don't know too many people that would admit that, but it's a distraction. I have to stay busy because if not, there's certain things that would take away from the creativity or take away from, like, you know who I used to be.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? So it's one of those things like how can I take this energy that I have and make it usable? And
Right.
Once I had somebody ask me one day, you know, they was like, "Damn, bro, what don't you do?"
Fuck around? Nah.
And you know, and the only logical thing that I can tell them is shit. When I find out,
Right.
I'm gonna learn how to do that too.
You know, because doing like, you know, when you start embracing your rock side, I knew you, so I was like, that was natural. I felt like that's what you should have did.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying, in the first place.
I had always been going through I don't want to say like an inner battle. I had a problem with using, like, me and my alias, like, really went, like, that whole Devin and Boas PC,
Yeah.
like, kind of got lost in a sense to where it was like I utilized that, you know, so I was with the shits all the time.
Right.
Because it was like, fuck Devin, nigga, like, we own this, like, this is the image that I assume. Like, so I was really problem child, nigga. Like,
I know. I fucking know.
you know, so it's once I learned how to tap into that flow state, y'all niggas got to look this shit up. Once I learned how to tap into that flow state, first of all, I only rapped because I was good at it.
I already know. That's why I asked.
I only rapped because I was good at it. And then once I started like integrating, like, bro, these niggas will listen to anything. These niggas listen to anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that. So I dipped out. And you got to think about it. The first thing that I released when I came back was Mental Rehab, the checkout.
Yeah.
So that was me like, all right, man, fuck, let me shoot at a few people real quick and get the juices flowing to see if it was what I wanted to do, and it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't, so I dipped back out, and then it was like, man, fuck it, I'm going full-blown no-so. So I started the band, and I was like, I will not be a rapper, because that shit is so whack and lame and cliche and saturated and over. You rappers have really, there's no lyricists. Like, you have to search for them. You know, you really have to search for them. They're too far in between.
I just had to raise.
So as a punk rapper, like, I can do what I want to do.
Well, you kind of have your own lane.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about what it is that me and the band are doing. No Solution is I'm allowed to be a punk rapper and not have to follow that genre of any one of them.
Right.
You know, and then it's one of those things like, why not support me?
Right.
Nigga, I'm not in your arena. And even when I come to the rap arena, nigga, I'm just there to say, hey, nigga, I'm going back to this bar that you can't get in to perform at.
Right. And
By the way, I
really
play the bass and rap at the same time, people. While I'm sitting here talking about
I was just gonna say that too.
Punk rap
but,
shit.
You know, that's what I respected because, you know, one thing I could say, we be off Skillman and Ardea. You're the only motherfucker I have ever met that will be bumping small thing and going, bro. Like it's Lil Jon and Eastside, but it's like dudes going hard, and I think that's what we had in common. I never listened to stereotypical rap. You know, I'm a Mos Def, Kweli, Black Thought, Common Head. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Freddie Gibbs. I fucks with Freddie.
Well, you see, my favorite rapper was Eminem, so I was already fucked up.
Right, and
I was fucked up from the jump.
he's real fucked up in the head. But
before
brilliant
I was
MC.
listening to that shit, you know, I was because I was on the block in Chicago.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of music that I can listen to publicly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm straight, like, gangbang neighborhood, selling
Right.
drugs, selling crack in 6th grade. We rock Glowers Park. So it's, you know, once I get home, you know, it's
Right.
like, man, I'm
Game time.
I'm putting on Aerosmith. I'm putting on System of a Down. Like, around this time, Toxicity was out, the album Toxicity.
Right.
Like, you know, then I started with the Panic at the Disco. So once I started having that conflicting, like, man, I don't want to do this shit. I taught myself how to play bass, and was like, I'm putting.
I mean, I think that was.
I
you
did
were
that
meant
shit
to do
at a
that.
show.
Yeah.
Bro, I did that shit at a show. Like, I got off stage one day and got back on. I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm starting a band. Who want to join me? And then nigga CJ Cruz was like, drums.
That's what's up.
And I had to talk Denny in the joiner.
Man, but I mean, what I could say from it, from what I saw, like, you seem like you at home up there. Like, you
It feels
seem so
better.
much And you know what I'm saying? This ain't no outside looking in because I was in there. You seem so much happier.
Yeah, I mean,
And at
'cause,
the end of the day, that's what it was.
like you would see me. Like I would get off stage and I would go like to a corner some fucking way.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like I don't want to fucking be here. I'm only here because I'm
Yeah.
rapping and once them niggas get off stage, like they gotta ask me to stay here. And it's not even
Right.
on some old diva shit. It's just like I don't belong here.
And
I don't want to fit in.
And that's like I say, you know, that's one thing we had in common because I know me as an artist, me being honest with myself, I never fit in.
Right.
And that's what worked for me because I had to learn to embrace that. Otherwise, it would have never, ever worked for me.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding fans that couldn't wait for something like that. So, you know, thank God for all of them. You know, even like with me doing podcasting, I searched and researched how people did that shit. Like, I'm not finna fucking do that.
Like, bro, remember, I used to get on stage with contacts like that had the stars inside of my eyes just to stand apart.
And, you know, like,
that rap
that was
shit
the
is
funny thing
garbage.
because people that don't know you
Yeah, they think this is
would
like
be like, you know, this dude is a way that's completely different from him. You know, I remember when I first started like clicking with you because at that time there were a lot of people that were kind of like trying to bring me in.
Yeah.
And I didn't even want to be a part of no kind of crew because I liked the fact that I stood out. I liked the fact that I would make the DJ turn off the beat and I spit the whole song a cappella. I like that, but you know, with y'all were all different from each other.
you had no choice but to stand out.
So it was like fun. So, you know, Dewan J had his own light.
yeah.
And there wasn't even no point of like, why I need to take that light is his.
Yeah.
And he owned it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's one.
Same-
I think in that moment we were all kind of like, man, that light. It was like, man, fuck that. Let me help him hold this light. Why?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like, we
since
would
he- yeah.
all be there.
Yes,
and,
like,
and-
wow.
And instead of getting on the stage, like all of it, like we're standing in front of the stage, like, nigga, get in.
yeah, like do what you do,
Until
man.
my dumb ass, like everybody on stage, we're doing
Right.
Dream On, we're
Yeah,
doing these.
and then
bitches.
here it comes.
Everybody get on
Yeah.
stage. Fuck them. Like,
And,
like,
you know, Dream On was like the funniest record to me because
Yo.
you know why that record was funny to me?
It was
and
the-
I've never said this because okay, you remember when we did it at Dream World and pretty decent crowd, right? But I damn near knew every rapper that was there. I don't think they realized you were talking to them. That shit was hilarious to me.
no, let me tell you.
Because they would be chanting with you. I was
Let
like,
me
no,
tell
we
you. Let me tell you the funniest thing about Dream On to me is I used to win competitions by, like, and I apologize to anybody that I manipulated at the time. I would win competitions by getting my competitors to get on stage with me
Ah,
and sing the song
So that's a
with
tactic.
me. Or I would get them all to come to the front and, you know, crowd control, like Dream On, Dream, make them niggas
Okay.
sing with
Yeah.
me. There's a video where I actually win a battle at Kitty. Shout out to J-Rock Spaceship.
yeah, hell yeah.
There's a video of a battle at Kitty's where I win simply because the stage is full of every single person that was in the competition
Why his voice get deep when he said
singing
that?
my song. Come on, it was like the build-up.
Batman.
You can, y'all niggas know. If they don't, y'all niggas know it. It was the build-up, you know. It was like
Right,
one
right.
of those.
I mean, that's what you do. Like
That's what I do. See,
again, you know, like that's why I like the team so much, you know, because
Yeah.
like me, in my light, I would just make you have to listen to me. And if I felt like you weren't listening, I'd walk up
in the
to
crowd,
you.
in the
Yeah.
crowd with it.
And I was like, you know, because I felt like, you know, what we had, and I'm not gonna say had because I feel like everybody on that team still
Nah, fuck all
are
y'all.
top talent.
Fuck all y'all. All y'all suck. All y'all garbage.
And you can kiss all our ass. And
I know.
I don't give
I know.
two shits. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were like a Voltron. You know, like
Yeah.
the best thing I could compare it to would be, you know,
Justice
J. Cole's
League.
crew.
We were the Justice
Yeah,
League.
we were definitely the Justice League. You know, because everybody was kind of a leader in their own right.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody came to J Vine when they wanted hooks. Everybody did. You know, Dewan J was, you know, killing them beats. And, you know, dudes were asking me to do spoken word on their mixtapes, which was funny to me. I was like, this is weird, but okay. I'll do it.
No, man.
You know?
The funniest thing to me, niggas used to pay me to sing hooks on their shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm no. That's before I embraced it.
Right.
I'm not saying I can sing, but if niggas don't judge me as an R&B singer, then I can sing.
I mean, but you being a punk rocker, and to put some melody on that, that's perfect.
That's the great thing about being a punk rapper is I don't care. Is I don't.
Speaking of rap, I want to hear like one of these songs you brought us.
Yeah.
I would like to hear one.
Yo.
Is there a certain song you would like to be played, sir?
I don't know. Since we're talking about singing, I can play the we can play the mixtape track. No, man, let's go lyrical. Let's do. Is the did I send you the notification?
You did.
Yeah, do the notification. So on the notification, I'm playing the bass. Like that's actually me and the band.
Oh.
So when we do that song, so a brief history on notification, right? The whole point of the song is this is a notification, not a negotiation. I'm better than most of you on purpose.
Let's find out.
The notification by No Solutions.
Big boy, let's find out if his notification is actually a notification or spam. We're going to find that out today.
Yeah. Run that shit.
Give me 1 minute, guys.
Yeah. Bows, P, C. Yeah, no solutions, bitch. I'm so ahead of these rappers, I can stop and take a vacation. Start a band, do punk rap, come back and they still chasing. All these dudes be perpetrating, acting hard, faking about what they making seem like every millionaire who rap is linked to Satan. Every MC that comes out sound like the last MC that came out. Everybody wanna make it rain, but I just wanna bring change about. Thinking you blow on my mind, but I'm thinking to blow on my brains out. I only listen to most of this trash and let my trunk bang out. I hang out my window yelling no solutions forever, bitch. I'm problematic, the probable cause being a third of a terrorist. You don't like to go kick rocks, then cry a river to a therapist. Lame rappers can't fuck with me and it shows that they're a piss. Bitch, I rock like Pete Rock, Dwayne Johnson and Scott LaRock. Everybody from Cracker Rock, then hit the block like Red Rock. Hear me out, I'm saying I rock like the thing from Fantastic Four. Harder than Kid Rock and a rock bitch, flat rock like boots on the floor. I was raised in bedrock, wanna be famous as a Rolling Stone. What is the language? I teach that shit and speak that shit. Was that a song? I should be the definition of rock out, won't you cop out of a rock zone in a glass house. Get down to be assed out. I rock a dog collar, if a bitch ever was a grab, I chop my fucking head off and tell a tramp she can have it. Simple rappers can't compete because I'm known for letting them have it. Now they screaming, fuck me, but dicks up for chicks, silly rabbit. Maggot is an understatement. You a rainbow gon' tragic. Every color gon' bleed off when I beat your face over plastic. There's no fixing my brain, fuck the screwdriver setting ratchet. But your bitch is not my tune, cause she bout that life and she ratchet. No solutions is a loaded pistol. 3 bullets, you can get them all. Our flows are presidential shit. Notebook full of them Lincoln laws. I spit shit that's psychotic, chaotic, like a shooting at a college. Then nigga rubber the guitar shredder, come playing and sleep. I think everybody CJ hit it with some arm beat. And that's done from the drummer seat. Doing something that haven't been done and all the calm we're trying to repeat. We eat from rap rock to punk rock, even heavy metal. No one in this band is average, so as a group we set the level to a whole other place. Fix your face, don't hate, embrace. If you didn't rock out, tell them we'll be erased. Whether leave a mark that won't be erased. I've accepted your way of thinking, considered exact reactions. The shit that I say and do isn't done in a normal fashion. Problematically speaking, I can't show the compassion that most around me may need to feel accepted for their actions. I'm a selfish prick who's inconsiderate to anyone else that's not in my direct circle, family or my damn self. How the fuck can I please anyone when everyone got issues? Tried to be the nice guy, but that dude got fucked and misused. So all you hoes can cry me a river. I have no tissues. You push me to the edge, but now I'm tired of this cliff view. I have no reason to apologize. I mean, fuck how you feel. Don't like the cards that I play. This is my deck and how I deal. Go.
Yup. Straight like that.
Jay.
Yeah, man.
And that joint right there was Boys PC. And
No, sir.
I told you.
No solutions.
No solutions, man.
Yeah, that's punk rap, man.
And you know, for those that never knew what that was, that's what it is.
Punk rap, bro.
You know, since I see a lot of people feeling it, we're getting a lot of love on here. Let's go to that next joint. Who's Bag, correct?
Yeah, man. So whose bag is me? That's me. My attempt at a club song. Now
yeah,
look.
play that.
Now
Play
look. Now look. I say that to say this. I didn't dumb down shit. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. When I say it's my attempt at a club song, it's me still being as lyrical as possible and still crushing shit, but to a club beat for the strippers. I don't even go to the strip club. It's just,
I like the way that sounds. It
Yeah.
sounds kind of
it's dope because I'm telling you, when you hear it, like people who know me, they know I don't do music like that
at all.
at all, bro. But when you hear it, it's like, oh my God, why haven't he been doing music like that?
Really?
Jam that shit, bro.
So, Big Boy, could we play Who's Bag?
Who's bad?
Yeah. Yeah. Go. See. Yeah. Who's back? Make a nigga spend it all on you. Okay. Girl, you shouldn't be ashamed. Please don't let your pride make you feel some kind of way. Keep doing your thing, make them other bitches hang. Make that nigga spend it all on you. Going up and down the pole. Make that pussy pop for this money on the floor. You fuck it up everywhere you go. Now work for it, work for it, work for it, work for it, work for it. Make that nigga spend it all on you. Work for it. Yeah. Throw it like a stack of cash. If it's flat, I wanna see you throw it like you got some ass. Throw it like you're in the ring trying to land a jab. Yeah, she got that drive and I'm just trying to be a cash cab. I came to spend it all. Leave it alone, not at all. Make it rain, then have a ball. And when I'm done, she having balls. I'm in it to win it. These niggas offended cause she is not paying these niggas attention. I try to teach them when it comes to the pimple, but haters gon' hate. No map tripping. Yeah, stick with me, baby. I'll show you how to get these cheese. These bitches gon' hate. They only eyewitness cheese. These bitches fleas. So to stay away from broke niggas like they all disease. If you want it, work for it, cause this bag come with some fees. All on you. Girl, you shouldn't be ashamed. Please don't let your pride make you feel some kind of way. Keep doing your thing, make them other bitches hang. Make that nigga spend it all on you. Going up and down the pole. Make that pussy pop for this money on the floor. You fuck it up everywhere you go. Now work for it, work for it, work for it, work for it, work for it. Make that nigga spend it all on you. Work for it. Yeah. Now if spinning is the topic, then I wanna see you pop it, lock it, drop it, but you are not allowed to stop it. I get money, I got a red bone and chalk. They gon' work. This club is a corporate office. If they don't work, they resume go in the garbage. Hey ho, I took a full scholarship for college. That mean that head game better give me knowledge. Broke niggas, she tend to don't see or try to acknowledge. Like Dicey on the roll, a boss bitch is a roll. That ass is hashtag goals. She handbag hoes, bitches try to ride the wave, but she sandbag hoes. She get the bag cause she marathon ran bag hoes. Spend it all on you. Girl, you shouldn't be ashamed. Please don't let your pride make you feel some kind of way. Keep doing your thing, make them other bitches hang. Make that nigga spend it all on you. Going up and down the pole. Make that pussy pop for this money on the floor. You fuck it up everywhere you go. Now work for it, work for it, work for it, work for it, work for it. Make that nigga spend it all on you. Work for it, work for it, work for it.
And then we can do that back on that PC next.
Hey, hold up. Before we get started, though, that's one of them songs you sound like you supposed to talk sexy on.
Yeah.
Let me spit it all on you, bitch.
Yeah.
Come here. I done gave you $5,000. You better bring your ass over here before I slap the double time shit out of you. Come here right now.
I'm telling you,
See,
make it rain and spend it all, and when I'm leaving, she having balls.
No, I'm saying, but on those songs, stereotypically, you're supposed to be like, hey, bitch, come here, something. You know, for the monosyllabic demographic.
No,
That's what you're supposed to do,
we
sir.
had to do it for the lyrics.
You're breaking the rules.
We had to do it for the lyrics. It's really
Hey,
meant to be
respect.
broken.
Lyricists are still here,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Lyricists are still here.
So
man.
we 2 for 2 right now, huh?
Yeah, we 2 for 2.
Ooh.
What's the next one?
Back on that PC.
Back on that Pete.
Yes, back on that PC. Now look.
Motherfucker.
Now look.
I know what that means.
Look. Now back on that PC. This was just me, like I, just play it.
This is him. Just play it.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. That's what
You
we
know,
do, man.
Southern Vibe Radio, and we're
Southern
watching
Vibe
some crazy
Radio.
things. Yo, what up, Nina Jules, man? Shout out to you.
Get up and go on with your life. It's all right to sit around, be depressed for a minute, cry about it, do whatever you have to, but don't stay there too long. Get up and go on with your life. Whatever they're running after, they'll see what they had in a minute, but by then it's gonna be too late. If you see somebody fix it, or they even trying to fix it, that's somebody that care. Keep them people around. That's a leaf that's trying to grow up and be something else. You understand? But if you tell somebody that what you're doing is hurt me and I need you to stop it, and they keep doing it, they don't care. Move on. Let them go. No matter how much it hurts.
No time for that bullshit, I'm back on that PC. Ain't got love for these bitches cause these hoes don't love me. And niggas gon' switch even when you show them loyalty. So I be on my zero, solo, dolo, one deep. Just back up with that bullshit, that wasn't for me. I gave up on love, so who in here gon' fuck me? I ran out of fucks to give when they said fuck me. But they know I be with the shit, so they don't touch me. Watch me flex in Dallas, Texas with a model chick. I don't have a type, she might be skinny, might be hella thick. Why your man so extra, girl, that fella just be doing shit. Telling me should face the facts instead of looking blue in it. I don't understand the shade and the mug in me. I don't want your bitch, she borderline ugly. So as you all keep loving her, that shit is lovely. For lack of better words, I know these rappers loving me. Until I see a mirror, can't worry about who judging me. Logically, I never seen a purpose it would serve for me. I be setting beats ablaze. Lyrically, I can eat for days. Make options, I wanna speak for days. No time for that bullshit, I'm back on that PC. Ain't got love for these bitches cause these hoes don't love me. And niggas gon' switch even when you show them loyalty. So I be on my zero, solo, dolo, one deep. Just back up with that bullshit, that wasn't for me. I gave up on love, so who in here gon' fuck me? I ran out of fucks to give when they said fuck me. But they know I be with the shit, so they don't touch me. Shit, I'm back on that PC. Cause these hoes don't love me. Show them loyalty. One deep. Just back up with that bullshit. That wasn't for me. I gave up on love, so who in here gon' fuck me? I ran out of fucks to give when they said fuck me. But they know I be with the shit, so they don't touch me.
So I have a question for most of the people that have been watching. Did you guys know that this asshole over here could sing too? Fucking asshole singing, man. You know.
Hey man, I told you, as long as you don't judge me as an R&B singer, yeah, I can sing.
I ain't gonna judge you as an R&B singer. I'll judge you as an asshole because I can do that.
Now I do have a full-blown R&B song in there, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about No Problemo featuring celebrity.
Okay, we'll do No Problemo, but we're gonna get back to that shit. The next joint we can have No Problemo, and we ain't got no problems. My name ain't Lil Scrappy.
Yo,
so
look,
we have No
Problemo.
Problemo.
That's what's on the jacket. That's what I put on the back of this.
Yeah. Hey, you know you can never play Who's the Father of the Baby when you look like your baby.
Hey, when my baby look like my
never-
baby picture. Yeah, bro.
Can't play those songs. So the next joint will be No Problemo by PC Jr.
Damn.
Don't want no problem with me. Don't want no smoke. You don't want no problem with me. Don't want no smoke. Don't want no problem with me. You don't want no problem with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't
I don't pop Molly, I write bars. The equivalent of feeling it is you popping like 10 a day. Flow so high, I ignite stars. Only an idiot would disregard what I say. So you really wanna sit and compare our pace? Oh, yeah. You and Barry Allen in a race. Yeah. I'ma find a flash to the face. I think of stuff that can't be erased. Paper bag lunch to a buffet. Can't hear what a nigga or a slut say. A big fuck you sign on some days, but for the most part I'm cooler than the OJs. Fuck trends, don't search, so fuck waves. No plan B to be and me, I am plan A. But was PC is a rock star. Got beef, run DMC and walk this way. Those are the actions that might cause me to pull this Aerosmith that I rock on my waist. I spit bars that excite y'all. I invite y'all to a visual, lyrical display. When I brainstorm, I hail ice bars. Alright, y'all take show till this gets unsafe. Back on my bullshit, now that shit face. While I sit around with the own, give a shit face. I was young when I heard crime pays. I'm a smooth criminal, no MJ. Grind had no time limit, no end days. The trap was a dojo, no sensei. Can't read my style cause the shit's so great. Suppose they'll get that far one day. They love to loathe the shit I say. Stick to the code in every way. You and your niggas too weak, no weekdays. And I bet you niggas never had a no weekday. In the booth, I've never had a no eat day. She don't understand English, no speak babe. I am so uncommon like a leap day. You're a leapfrog, K-I-D play. I'm pressure on the hop, on top, non-stop, no thought of giving them leeway. You don't want no problem with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no smoke. You don't want no problems with me.
So we're gonna call that song "Featuring This Ugly Bastard." That's what he called it. And this show, I had so much fun. I wasn't even looking at the damn clock. We are officially on our way to out of time. But before we go, I want to say that's my dude. This wasn't even about him coming on no artist shit. It's just like, man, that's my guy, and I see him making moves. And I feel like what you're supposed to do is reciprocate. So, you know, he making moves. Anything I could do to open any door, I'm always down to do. But, man, just thanks for coming and letting me see that greatness is still there because we come from such competitive spirits to where if any of those joints you brought to me was whack, bro, I would have gotten your ass.
I know.
Like,
I
for
know.
real. I'm supposed to.
I know.
You know, I'm like, bro, that shit was lame.
Like, you
bro.
have to go to some places where people are going to be real with you in public.
Yes. So, you know, shout out to my wife and my family.
Shout out to y'all.
You know, shout out to Shy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I mean, know her. Just see, she tall as shit. Like, what the hell? But anyway, like.
Straight girl there. Man, if y'all need any photography done, holla at youdoo.com. If
Yes.
you need any graphics, I shoot videos. I do heat press. Like, I don't know if whatever you see, I made this shit.
And anybody, including Jill, if y'all, you know, want to get at him and y'all acting shy, man, y'all can get at him through me.
Yeah, man. I mean, my whole
saying?
album, Indecisive, is available everywhere. You can put that shit on your Facebook story. Just when you go to music, you can put it on your Instagram. Indecisive by Boas PC. Everything spelled the way it's
Also,
supposed
it's
to be
official. I can start promoting it now.
You
You
can
know,
pump
you
it.
still
You
need
can
to
pump
wait.
it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
So let's unveil this right now. Yo, so my new website, I just got my own website, right? It's called boaspunkrap.com. BOIS punkrap.com.
Yeah, make sure you text that to me. I'm gonna send that to everybody.
Punkrap.com.
Yes, and
Yeah.
shout out to you know, Big Boy from Manning and Boards, man, my
Appreciate
business
you,
partner.
homie.
And we're gonna be out, but before we go out, I just gotta say one thing. With everything that's going on in the world, in the great words of Marcus Garvey, a black man is not a badge of shame, but a glorious symbol for greatness. And we're gonna be out.
Holla at youdoo.com. Log in soon.
I had to say that.
Yo.
We on some dumb shit.
I love it.
Like, yeah. I mean, I'm here.